these little stones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is that SpongeBob again? Over in this area here, focus in on this face. It seems like it looks like a baby, and then the body inside of a wound. And I see a sheep right here because there's like the two horns, or even the ears out here, and the eye there, and the eye there, and the nose coming out, mouth. That could be the ears there. Seeing an O and a V. Where's the L and the E? Or the E and the L? See the inverted sheep with a horn sticking up? The nose is down here, the mouth. The eye is right there. This eye is over here. The head is right here. And that just looks like a baby with a few different legs. See more of the mouth of the sheep. Got that evil horn coming up over on that end. 5. So then I see that, and then my brain thinks, well, wasn't his tablets smashed? What happened to the broken tablets of Moses? Not what happened to them. Why were they broken? How could Moses break the holy tablets?
Moses approached the camp. He saw the calf and the dancing. Moshe's
All the calf and the dancing. I see a calf here. I don't see anybody dancing. These are tablets, are they not? There was 4 of them.
anger blazed. He threw down the tablets that were in his hand and he smashed them beneath the mountain. So we're a little surprised. I mean, we might not be so shocked if somebody else in a fit of rage throws their wife's heirloom china on the floor or throws a lamp across the room. But Moses, to take the tablets that the Torah just reminded us were fashioned by the hands of God, with extraordinary miracles involved in the writing on the tablets, cast them on the ground in anger and wrath.
Powers that be that are opposed to the things of God. That's why perhaps this wasn't an explosion, but could it have been an act of God? Was it lightning? And when you look at the tape, if you look at the upper left-hand corner, you can see the street light getting brighter. That's what happens when lightning strikes and there's no fire or real smoke to be seen. Could it be that lightning indeed struck down these guide stones? Was there a spike in voltage which turned into a power surge? An act of God. An act of God.
The fact that it gets blown up, so significant, so important, so wonderful. You know, it's known as America's Stonehenge, the Georgia Guidestones in Elbert County. They were unveiled in 1980, and it was to engrave these stones with maxims, laws, to an age of reason. So there's this age of reason which is coming up, or the age of enlightenment which is coming up, and so these guidestones were there to guide people to this age. Now, the
tablets that Moses brought down were extraordinarily heavy. In fact,
how heavy are the Georgia Guidestones?
237,746 pounds, 107,840 kilograms. According to Wikipedia.org, the Georgia Guidestones was a granite monument that stood in Elbert County, Georgia, United States from 1980 to 2022. It was 19 feet 3 inches, 5.87 meters, tall and made from 6 granite slabs weighing a total of 237,746 pounds.
Don't open door 237. This is why the Georgia Guidestones have been struck down, because those tablets have been judged, and Moses broke them because of that exact reason. It seems like we're heading that direction because the system has been judged. Therefore, those stones, isn't it like the Old Testament too, where the Old Testament rules are just done with? It's time to move on to the New Testament.
But when Moses came down and saw the sin, when the tablets came face to face with the sin, the letters flew off. The celestial energy flew off. He was carrying them and he lost his strength. That's one explanation. Another explanation is that he needed to shock them.
Good morning, everyone. Stephen Benoon here with Israeli News Live. And everybody the world over is already wondering about the Georgia Guidestones. What happened? How did they come down, etc.
Today is July 8th, 2022.
Everybody the world over is already wondering about the Georgia Guidestones. What happened? How did they come down, etc.
It looks like they're all bowing down to these two that are on, what is that, the platform? Just looks like they're bowing down to the two. All of them.
He simply needed to shock them to their senses.
The Georgia Guidestones and the Georgia Bureau of Investigations, they're now releasing information. The Guidestones were taken down. Very obvious to, when you look at the video footage, that some sort of missile may have been shot from a ground level. And so
powers that be that are opposed to the things of God. That's why when news started circulating that perhaps this wasn't an explosion, but could it have been an act of God? Was it lightning?
A unique Georgia attraction that stood for nearly 4 decades is destroyed, and now the GBI needs your help to find who did it.
I don't know who did. Do you know who did it?
Good morning, everyone. Stephen Benoon here with Israeli News Live. And everybody the world over is already wondering about the Georgia Guidestones.
But that's a very, very audacious act. To smash the tablets that God had fashioned. So, to smash the tablets that God had fashioned. So let's look deeper.
Isn't that the door that you say do not open up, Jonathan Clegg? Door 237? Why? What could be behind that door? If you have eyes to see, you'll see what that door represents just by looking at it from aerial view. There's a door. It's a hidden trap door. The reason why it's a trap door, because in the same area, there's that bear trap, teeth on it. It's a teeth, it's a trap. Satan is a worm eater. Satan eats worms out in his backyard. A lot of dead bones out there in that backyard. You can only imagine. You're putting this into a trap. You're either doing this. This is the system that's being judged. The Georgia Guidestones were thrown down because of this system, the door 237. I only found that out just by pushing record, 11 minutes in, 9 seconds in. I push record and I start looking and I start searching the matter out. And then I see the connections like, wow, 237 pounds. So that's the reason why Moses threw them down, because of what was written in there. These are tablets. Let me see all the images. Yeah, so there's 4 tablets, 4 winds of heaven. I look at it as Peter, John, and James, and Jesus. And the headstone up here is connecting them, those 4, and then this pillar. But these are the ones that everything's written on. I don't know what that's all about. But it is as a T, and there's 2 tablets beside it. And on the other side, 2 more. So the T is here in the middle, and then there's 4 winds of heaven on each side of them. Basically, the T in the middle is holding up all 4. If you wound the head of the top one, then they're gonna all collapse now because you just destroyed the structure on this side, his wounded head. Wait a minute. That's door 237. Already opened up. What does it look like when double doors are opened up? Look at that. Those doors are opened up. So if it's closed, you'll probably see like 237 somewhere on the other side of the door that's opened up. And when you open up the door, this is what's greeting you. So there's some kind of, get out of the way, some kind of just push rod. Push rod. This is where the fluid comes out at. Maybe it's venom. Maybe people can get sprayed. But it also looks like a push rod in that door 237. This also looks like a push rod too. In the middle there, see that? Even more so. Definitely a push rod right in the middle. Washington Monument Fountain. The Washington Monument is on the list to be destroyed next, but not this one. Next up, sometime along the lines of with all these things taking place in order, Washington Monument. Yep, Washington Monument is toast because of what it represents. It's something that protrudes out of the ground, out of the earth, something that's hidden, and then it's not, and then it's out and it's hidden. One way is up, the other way is down. Being crucified upside down is, with the host body system and their interpretation. This is like modern day Israel's interpretation, trying to fulfill it in this way, but the vision fails because that's not the true Christ. Christ isn't. If they tell you he's in a secret chamber or he's over in a desert, don't believe it. If he's in a secret chamber, that's not the true interpretation of it. So don't go there. Don't open up door 237. This is the system being judged. That's why the tablets were thrown down. So far, that's my conclusion. I'm watching this lady for the first time, or guy, whatever, but it doesn't matter because I can just always tell who knows, and they have that better information.
First, let's look at what Rashi explains to us. Rashi on page 17 under verse 19. And he threw down from his hands. He thought to himself, just as the Korban Pesach, the eating of the Paschal Lamb, which is just one of the mitzvot of the Torah.
Eating of the Paschal Lamb. I mean, he could be talking about the food, which is eating, and that is a lamb. There is a lamb right there. So it's representing eating the lamb. But what happens before it becomes lamb, it's the spark of life.
Yet the Torah says no stranger may eat from it. So Moses says to himself, one mitzvah, the Paschal Lamb, the Torah says no stranger may eat from it. And the entire Torah is here on the tablets. How can I conceivably give it to a people who have repudiated the cardinal commandment not to serve anything else but God?
Let's just say this was Moses, like in the female version. And these are the tablets, which is also in his hands, done with it. On 7/6, wounded head, serpent head, July 6, 2022. July backwards. It's the month of July. Now, when Moses dropped 2 tablets, I mean, he's dropping the apple, but they do split in 2. But then they become 1 after the fact. And then I think that might be what Obama starts sweating semen from his head somehow. But normally you'd be sweating bullets. And then SJD said, look, John, I'm flowering. And Johnny Click always teaches about Barack Obama, which means most people talk about themselves through other characters. So there. Now, this is the head of these 4 stones, and that one stone was knocked down. So basically, the target was the head, and then that one stone there. So there's 4 of them. Now this ties into the other 4 headstones. These guys here. You got George Washington, first president, Thomas Jefferson, third president, Teddy Roosevelt, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Teddy Roosevelt, Abraham Lincoln. How come it's not in line? Shouldn't he be in the 16th and the 26th to make it go in line? So which one of these presidents represents this stone here that was knocked down? Because the serpent got himself a wounded head. Right there. So these would also be the 4 horsemen. Who are the 4 horsemen? Jesus, Peter, John, and James. But if one of them's representing the false Christ, then I can see why the head would be crushed. It would be wounded. Or it's just a chip off the old block, and it just so happens to be a pyramid, which may be leading to the pyramids being destroyed. Because earlier, yesterday, that one video where SpongeBob SquarePants is in the background, and then you go over to Philly, which is the final, I think it's the final hit out of everything. It's like the icing on the cake. But here you got pyramids, Twin Tower pyramids. "848 feet tall, 945 feet, but 8:48. Obama says, "Stay still, know that I am God" at 8:48 a.m. on 10-year anniversary of the first 9/11. 11 years later, we're coming up. When you go back to the Washington Monument, I would just assume that because of this being here and the Georgia Guidestones being thrown down like Moses, destroying them, going there, destroying them, casting them down, breaking them. They show you SpongeBob, which goes back to the City Hall, William Penn building. And then over here, the Washington Monument. And as they're showing you pyramids, which could be the next target, but when they show you the Washington Monument, and that even comes out to 555 feet tall and 5 inches. 55, 55. The world's tallest stone monument. Of course, that is not, God is not going to want that to stay up. $5.55. I just don't know when it happens, but it's definitely on the list because of the spiritual meaning behind it, why it's being judged. The entire system is being judged. So any building that represents that exact thing will be destroyed. Not one stone will be left upon another. Jesus came out from the temple. Jesus left the temple and was going away. Jesus left the temple and was walking away. When his disciples came up to him to call his attention, to point out the temple buildings, to show him the buildings of the temple, he said to them, "Do you not see all these things? Truly I tell you, not one stone here will be left upon another, which will not be torn down." It doesn't matter who's doing it. You can say it's terrorists, you can say it's act of God, you can say it's lightning, you can say it's meteorites, you can say whatever you want. But the matter of the fact is, it is God's judgment. Because he's using the people that built all that to execute a way of taking it down with minimum people getting hurt and nobody dying. But that's the ultimate true meaning behind what they're doing. By, yeah, people are gonna be sorrowful. You're gonna have sorrows because this is the beginning of them. And a lot of people are gonna be scared about it, and they're gonna flee from the fear of noises. So he was sitting on the Mount of Olives. The disciples came to him privately, saying, "Tell us, when will these things happen?" Now, also in a literal term, being up on this mountaintop of olives, 2 olives, oil, olive oil. The 5 wise had oil. The 5 foolish did not have the oil. There's hell, which doesn't come until you go down voluntarily, opening up certain door numbers. And then there's the heavenly realm, where you do come and you're able to come down to earth and fight the demons as angels, fallen angels. But you also get flipped over as a stone until you become a living stone. Like, God just has to shake you up a little bit and wake you up, and then you like, oh. The disciples came to him privately. So this is you got to interpret. You got to read between the lines. Saying, "Tell us. Now's the time. Tell us. We want to know when these things are going to happen."
Now shows the moment the Georgia Guidestones in Elbert County blew up.
It was on July 6th at 4:03 and 33 seconds a.m. So tell us, when will these things happen, and what will be the sign of your coming and of the end of the age? So this is the beginning of that portion where it's already happened in the spirit behind the scenes for a few years now. And they've already been, the buildings, the people, they've already been turned over. And the body of Christ, that's what happens with the body of Christ. And so because that already took place, now it's happening in the literal physical world. You're going to start seeing more of those being more prevalent. Like the most famous monuments and the most famous buildings and anything that represents the host body system is being judged right now. But the end's not yet. This is only the beginning of the sorrows for all of those that are going to feel the sorrow from the judgment that's actually here, and you didn't believe that it was possible in the beginning, and now it is. So great signs in the heavens will be shown. The Son of Man comes in the clouds. So that spirit of Christ rising up, not this one, that's the secret chamber. Don't believe that one. This is what's being judged right now. So don't go to the secret chamber. Don't go to the desert. Don't go where there's no fruit being grown. Don't do it. So now's the time, as you see. So Christ comes in the clouds, comes in the spirit, comes in the internet, the airwaves, the principality of the air, Lucifer, is coming in his territory, into the temple. And then you'll see confirmations of it. And then that gets people to believe that, look, God is real. God is a spirit. God is the result of what you've done. You can't get away with it forever. And maybe some people do get away with it, and they die in their sin, and then they just go straight back to hell again. So, but now's the time to repent. The day of the Lord is at hand. You know, you don't see Skip up here for no reason, spraying the ants as a target. It's all target. And this area here is a target just by the fact of the landscape alone, what it shows. Direct line.
And the entire Torah is here on the tablets. How can I conceivably give it to a people who have repudiated the cardinal commandment not to serve anything else but God? In other words, Moses says, it's blasphemous for me to give such a people the Torah. I can't do it.
Just real quick, share this news clip on the Georgia Guidestones and the Georgia Bureau of Investigations. They're now releasing information. The Guidestones were taken down. Very obvious, too, when you look at the video footage, that some sort of missile may have been shot from a ground level. And so we're going to play.
The Georgia Guidestones in Elbert County blew up. This is surveillance video sent by the GBI from just after 4 o'clock this morning. Video also shows what appears to be a silver or gray car.
But this only begs the question. Fine. Don't give it to them. Sequester it. Hide it away. Smash it? What are you doing? And he said to himself, I have to do something radical. I have to completely eradicate this notion that people can unilaterally and independently vest anything with sanctity. They have to understand that the tablets are holy only when and if they listen to God. I am holy only because I am an agent.
I make it clear that all the things that he's ever said about me in the past, being an agent, working for Derek Bros, working.
So Justin Michael, are you ready? Howdy, brother. I know your face.
Hey, Derek.
How you
December 12th, 2022, or 2021.
Being an agent, working for Derek Bros, working for the inside, none of that's true.
All of it's true.
It's not even close to true.
It's dead on,
But
Robin.
nothing he says is close to true. So, you know what, I'm going to keep this. I got a video to make about the Georgia sent-off race.
Set off. January 6th, 2021. Talking about the Georgia Guidestones.
237,746 pounds.
Been a liar from the beginning.
I'm a liar from the beginning. You hear that? His own words.
I wanted to clarify this first.
Meaning him. I'm a liar from the beginning.
Been a liar from the beginning.
Those who say they are Jews and are proven to be liars. You know how when you make a video, it'll say like 3 minutes and 20 seconds, but it was really 3 minutes and 21 seconds? Same video, 2:36, so you know the video was 2:37.
Before he deletes the video.
Talking about Mount Rushmore. Not yet. We're not talking about that yet. We're still focused on trying to figure out. I think what's happening is I'm going to get 10 days to completely figure this out and give all the information I possibly can. And then the next hit over in the West, because it's going to, regardless if it's bombs or explosions or lightning, it's still lightning from heaven, which is in the airwaves coming down. So it's lightning from heaven, from the east to the west. East Coast is Georgia, and then the West Coast will be over there. So now, this is the time where yeah, they want to know. They want to know. Tell us, when will these things happen? Because these things, you see all these things, all these buildings that are coming up, all these monuments are going to be destroyed. You see all these future things? He's like, look, here's things. You see them? They're going to take place too. But he also says that not one stone here, as he's talking to them, will be left. He's speaking directly to them about them being built up as living stones, which will not be torn down. So they get thrown down first. Then, because they're the ones that run everything and they're the ones that set stuff up, and who knows what did what, then they start literally flipping and turning over the stones of buildings and monuments and tablets as Moses struck them down to the ground. However, he tossed those stones and destroyed them is how he did it. So he was sitting on the Mount of Olives. His disciples came in privately, saying, tell us, when will these things happen? So he's telling them right there that they will be thrown down by him. And then in the future, the buildings and the monuments and everything that represents what the forbidden fruit was, it's just going to be destroyed.
Namesake, his name is that office, for that office's sake, for the office that he stands in, for Christ's name, that office, you'll be hated because of it, because you are bringing destruction to their world because the enemy is trying to rise it up to an extent that you and the elect will simply not allow. The enemy knows that. And if you think we're not powerful enough to get that done, hide and watch.
So because this is a Hollywood, and Hollywood is over on the west side, then lightning should be striking over on the west side of America also, because it already struck on the east side. Then you come back to the east side, and you got the Statue of Liberty, who has this right here in her hand. That's also like a fire torch. It's like a rocket upside down. She's on the East Coast. Lightning strikes the Statue of Liberty. Or if a star falls from heaven and hits it, and there's no possible, like if they start going on the news and saying lightning struck instead of there's no bomb or nothing else, it's just, or it even sees like lightning striking it, that would be pretty frightening, right? To see lightning strike the Statue of Liberty coming up really soon. Because then that would truly mean that it's God's judgment. Even if it's the gods of the earth and the heavens and they're the ones striking it down, doesn't matter. It's still God's judgment as well because they're doing the will of God. What they've created, they have to destroy if it's not in God's will to continue at this exact time now. Because what does she represent? Well, she has a penis in her hand that's taken completely out. What is she going to do with that? What was the ghost, the Ghostbusters movie about when they were inside of the Statue of Liberty with all that goo falling down? And now it looks like she also has a tablet in her hand. And when this falls down, because the oil is drained, when that falls down, she was judged also. Right on the island, waiting for the sun to rise. Why? So you can get burnt? How do you look at it? Is it oil being drained out? No oil? Is that why they wrote that and glued themselves to the Michelangelo picture, the Last Supper? Is that their Last Supper? No more, no more of that going on. That is representing the Statue of Liberty, right? Tablet. But why would that torch in her hand fall? Because it's being judged. The torch in her hand goes back to just goes back here to the landscape, Philly. So when all these things do happen, I can't be blamed for, because especially if it gets hit by lightning and it's shown on TV, because they won't dare on the mainstream say that it's not really from God, just an act of God. It's from controlled AI technology that struck it on purpose at that exact time. So they won't say that. So then they would say it's an act of God, and then how could I be blamed for anything where they're saying, well, when people say stuff on the internet, then other people listen to them, they'll go do it. Like blow up the Georgia Guidestones. Well, what about when these things are not looked at as terrorist anymore? Even on the mainstream, they'll stop putting in that it may be a bomb somewhere or something, and they'll start telling you more like it's an actual act of God. They'll be saying it live on the TV mainstream. You can question me about it, but you can't pin me with anything. I'm not worried about predicting things that actually do come true. But I am aware that if that ever is the case, and things are like these monuments stuff start getting hit exactly, then is that a fish coming out or a whistle? Is that the whistleblower? It may be. That may be a whistleblower, the Statue of Liberty, getting judged and repenting and turning away and being saved. Basically, is the Statue of Liberty. But the person that represents the Statue of Liberty is one of those stones that you see these things. Not one stone here will be left upon another that will not be thrown down. It's there. Please understand, people that are not ready to repent. These things will only happen if it's already happened 3.5 years in, as they went through the Great Tribulation being judged. Every one of them. The physical manifestation in the world won't happen unless they've been judged themselves first. So when they're done with the Georgia Guidestones, when they're done with the tablets, when Moses is done with that, he's showing you he's finished with it because he was already judged.
The cherubs that he knew they would be commanded to build are holy only because they are the commandment of God. But to simply vest something with certain powers, even as a medium to serve God because you decided to do so, no, that can't happen. So he wanted to teach them that lesson in dramatic fashion. Still need to understand why he broke them.
And Stephen Ben-Nun here with Israeli News Live. Boy, gosh, I know it is late, 1 o'clock in the morning. And
1 o'clock in the morning on July 6, 2022.
Boy, I apologize. I did not get a chance to update you guys today on things that are going on, but I wanted to let you know.
Georgia Guidestones in Elbert County blew up.
7/6/2022, 4 a.m. 4:03 and 33 seconds on July 6th, 4:03 a.m. and 33 seconds on July 6th, 2022. Georgia Guidestones exploded.
To let you know, our trip starts here in a few more hours.
July 6th, 2022. Trip starts here in a few more hours.
1 o'clock in the morning.
1 o'clock in the morning. So in a few more hours, it'll probably be around 4 a.m. where the trip starts.
This mission is a very special mission. This mission will be updating you on a lot of information. Some of that will be on Patreon. But I think you're going to find it very interesting. Especially this coming weekend. This weekend I will be...
The reason why the weekend will be special is because the flood of information that comes out from the event that took place after the trip in a few hours, after that event takes place, this from that point on, the information, and then all the theories that are out there, all the what it could have been.
Stones in Albert County blew up.
It'll all be talked about.
This is surveillance video sent by the GBI from just after 4 o'clock this morning.
Think of all of this.
Like it's a wrap. Georgia Guidestones.
And these are a month behind you.
That's a wrap. One day before the Georgia Guidestones were destroyed. That's before the greatest thing that could happen to date is what's being revealed from that experience of however it happened doesn't matter. What matters is they're destroyed.
And these are a month behind you.
That's what happens in hell. These are a month behind you. 1, 2, 3.
We were there exactly 1 month ago, exactly 30 days.
Package. The only ones that were purchased were the peppers here.
These are a month and 10 days behind you, John.
Oh, I just want to say that we were there exactly 1 month ago.
5/6/2022, 27/2022.
Exactly 30 days before structures went down, and we prayed.
So you were there 30 days before the statue went down, and these are 30 days behind you, John.
These are a month and 10 days behind you.
There's a month and then 10 days. I'll just say that in 10 days from these stones that were flipped over would be a strike in the west, like in the California area. Something strikes down there. Remember, Sodom and Gomorrah's over there too. Kim Jean, maybe your town is next, and whoever's town was in Georgia representing those Guidestones, they got judged, and they seen that. And then over in Sodom and Gomorrah, that's why it was time for Lot to get out of there.
Pastor Dave and his wife, with Tim Ray from UI Media, with Dr. Eli English, and also, of course, the son of Pastor Dave. We all were there, circling it around and praying for it to be destroyed. So God takes it all down, because as everybody knows, this particular structure had these 10 commandments for death and genocide of humanity, right? Asking for world court. We have been on UR Media program where we explain how this world court, anything in the name of justice, would be Noahide laws. Okay, so what I want to say that it was exciting to see when it went down.
News started circulating that perhaps this wasn't an explosion, but could it have been an act of God? Was it lightning? And when you look at the tape, if you look at the upper left-hand corner, you can see the street light getting brighter. That's what happens when lightning strikes, and there's no fire or real smoke to be seen. hand corner, you can see the street light getting brighter. That's what happens when lightning strikes, and there's no fire or real smoke to be seen.
That's a good point, too. No fire or real smoke to be seen. It's the smoke from the dust of the rocks exploding.
Could it
exciting to see when it went down. It felt like it's really is answer to our prayers.
I wonder. Yeah, see, they're still looking for the people that did it, and it showed a silver car. And I was watching Paul Begley's show, and he was talking about the guy that shot up the 4th of July festival. That he had a silver car, and then they showed a silver car driving by, but didn't he already get locked up? But they're still looking to see who did it.
Exactly 30 days later, it happens. Yeah. So that's...
These are a month and 10 days behind you.
Now, you were pointing out a month with these three, and they're the ones that are in hell.
These are a month and 10 days behind.
And then those two twins right there, there's triplets up at the top, and there's those two down at the bottom.
And Lord might have heard our prayers, and it's not only us that prayed. It was many groups, many people.
That's
over
right.
the years, they went and prayed over these stones being taken down. So yeah, it might be victory in that sense, but at the same time, let's keep watching and investigating what will happen next and what news.
I mean, pick one. Over in San Francisco, there's the Golden Gate Bridge. The Golden Gate. Follow the yellow brick road. Lou Weiss is famous for speaking about that poem or something where she has gold mines digging in her backyard. So if this Golden Gate actually represents the system also, then that's not looking good for the Golden Gate. Six, six, six. It's more prevalent when you do this and look at it from a distance. Because it's supposed to look like that from a distance, just not up close.
Hey friends, it's Niat here with Film Comics Explained, and today we're going to do something different and try and piece together one of cinema's greatest mysteries. What is in the briefcase that Jules and Vincent are sent to recover in the genre-bending 1994 crime film Pulp Fiction, which was what is in the briefcase that...
Make them open the box, and that's the way you do it. It's like in a box.
greatest mysteries.
Wow, did I just solve one of the greatest mysteries ever? As to what's actually inside of that box? Or what's inside of the briefcase? Got a briefcase with wheels. Briefcase has something that's inside that extends out really far.
Do something different and try and piece together one of cinema's greatest mysteries. What is in the briefcase that Jules and Vincent are sent to recover in the John...
It's funny because I renamed my wife Jules whenever she acts like Jules and not Denise.
...bending 19...
Because that's what she told me her middle name was.
94 crime film, pulp written and directed by Quentin Tarantino.
In other words, John Quentin III.
Open it. What is in that briefcase? We never see inside the briefcase that Jules and Vincent fetch from Marcellus Wallace, but we witness that the contents give off a golden glow, which feels magical, almost holy.
It's not almost holy. It is holy. The holy place. Payne's Park. Pain to be delivered. It's the Golden Gate Bridge. The door, like 237. It's a gateway. It's a bridge to get to the gateway of the gold. Follow the yellow brick road. What are bricks made out of? Aren't they made out of like mud? So if they're made out of mud, wouldn't you be able to make them out of crap too? Isabel. Serpent coming out of the apple. All these faces on my Google. So these are the people that I've paid attention to the closest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. On YouTube. There's Justin again. Now, considering Trump could be somebody else that's already in here, same thing with Obama. So it could be, and then Joe Biden. Where you at, Joe? There you are. It could be Joe. It could be Barack Obama. It could be Trump. Out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, namely 7. So namely 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are the 7 people I pay attention to the most. As for the mystery of the 7 stars which you saw in my right hand, and the 7 golden lampstands, the 7 stars are the angels of the 7 churches, and the 7 lampstands are the 7 churches. This is John's vision on Patmos. So on Patmos, it's John's vision, but it looks like it's Derek Rose's island, according to Matria, the island of Patmos. Could be the actual land itself, United States, America. It could be the bubble that we're in, that I'm in, that we're in, the bubble that we're in. Could be the YouTube platform itself. Could be the one that created it, like the technological part of it. But it's John, the Revelator. I think that's who Steve's talking to. John, he's talking to you, the Revelator. I, John, your brother and fellow partaker in the tribulation and kingdom and perseverance which are in Jesus, was on the island called Patmos because of the word of God and the testimony of Jesus. I was in the Spirit on the Lord's day, and I heard behind me a great voice as of a trumpet, saying, I am the Alpha and the Omega, the first and the last. What you see, write in a book, and send it to the 7 churches which are in Asia, unto Ephesus, Smyrna, Pergamos, Thyatira, Sardis, Philadelphia, and Laodicea. Then I turned and I see the voice that was speaking with me. And having turned, I saw 7 golden lampstands. And in the middle of the lampstands, I saw one like a son of man, clothed in a robe reaching to the feet, and girded across his chest with a golden sash. And I always keep in mind, too, the 7th is of the 8th. The 7th one is also of the 8th. And John is writing, looking at 7. His head and his hair were like white wool, like snow, and his eyes were like the flame of fire. His feet were like burnished bronze when it has been burned in the furnace, and his voice was as the sound of many waters. And he had in his right hand 7 stars, and out of his mouth went a sharp 2-edged sword, and his countenance was as the sun shineth in the strength. And when I saw him, I fell at his feet as dead. And he laid his right hand upon me. So he picked this mouse up and started clicking, and just recording and clicking. And he laid his right hand upon me, saying unto me, Fear not, I am the first and the last. I am he that lives and was dead, like left for dead. And behold, I am alive forevermore. Amen. And have the keys of hell and of death. So write the things which you saw, which you have seen, and the things which are, and the things which shall be hereafter.
Afternoon here with Israeli News Live, and everybody the world over is already wondering about the Georgia Guidestones, what happened, how did they come down, etc. And I wanted to share some of that information with you.
As for the mystery of the 7 stars which you saw in my right hand, and the 7 golden lampstands, the 7 stars are the angels of the churches, and the 7 lampstands are the 7 churches. Whereas lightning comes from the east, on July 6, 2022 at 4:03 and 33 seconds a.m. from east, which is Georgia, east side of the United States.
I have never in my life before seen an unraveling of the truth of Jesus Christ and His word.